We're less than a week away from small school football. Welcome into Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Jordan Spurgeon. And we say it every time we bring him on, but there is somebody who's part of the Sports 360 AZ team that knows these small schools better than honestly anyone in the state. So I'm not going to bury the lead. Let's just bring him on. What do you say, Spurge?
And we're here with Cody Cameron now. And Cody, it's great to have you as always. And we'll jump right into it. Last week Claudia and I we talked about some teams and players that we're excited for, and it definitely expanded across 6A. But nobody that I know in the state talks to as many coaches from every level like you do, Cody. So you're very plugged in. You've been at camps at a lot of these schools. So just point blank off the top, who are just, one or two of the teams that we can put you on the spot that you're really excited to see, down in 3A and 4A this year?
Well, when you look at the 3A conference, I love it, Jordan, because you still have your small communities, right? So you have your tight, close pockets, and you still have the traditional two-way football player. So when you look at schools like that and areas like that, Thatcher High School has to stand out, right? And Thatcher is going to have a class that has Coach Jones's son. He's going to be a senior in there, and every time it seems like a class that has a Jones kid, whether that's one of his nephews or one of his sons, the class seems pretty loaded. And that's going to be no different. Their class of 2026 is very good. Those kids are just tough kids. They're naturally tough kids. I think they look forward to the opportunity of coming out here into the valley and showing out. And they play in one of the tough conferences too. So Thatcher being one of them. But another one, like Ben Franklin, 100% will be up there. And I could spend an entire show talking about Danny Norris's Ben Franklin team. But another team I'll throw out there is Payson High School. Coach Burke, who's an alum of Payson High School, he's got a very, very good team. He's got a lot of returners who have a lot of experience coming in, Jordan, and that makes for a dangerous program, especially when you get into the later month of October and start in November in those playoffs. You have to draw a Payson team that one, either you got to go up there and play them, and that's tough, or they're coming down here, and those kids, hey, all they do is eat, live, and breathe football. That's a tough matchup. So those are two teams I really like in the 3A conference.
I'm also curious just to piggyback off of this. Any of these programs that have had a coaching change that you could see really being potentially significant this season?
Well, how about Ailey Ironwood? Clyde, we've talked about this with like Myron Blueford coming in, and Coach Blue does such a great job. He's inheriting a program that Lauren Dawson coached the last couple of years at Ailey Ironwood, him making the move back down to Casa Grande and coaching that Vista Grand. Coach Blueford, his culture, his standard, I think him inheriting a team that already is very, very disciplined, great work ethic in the weight room, and then he gets to put his own spin on things. That's going to be a really good ALA Ironwood team. And their entire team, a lot of their starters are still only juniors and sophomores. And they got one of the most powerful offensive line in the entire 3A. So you mix in those type of kids, plus, some of the talent they have outside of that, plus the culture building that Myron Blueford brings. I think it's a really good recipe for success.
Who are some of the players down at the lower levels that we really should be putting on our radar this season as they're going to be fun to watch or they're going to make a huge impact for their teams?
Okay, well, 3A, let's talk about a kid that Claudia and I talked about 2 weeks ago, Zayden Cundiff. And this is all credit to Claudia. Claudia it brought this kid and said, hey, she loves multi-sport athletes, she loves the GPAs, and this kid checks all those boxes. He had
And
100,
some.
160 plus tackles, it was like close to 180 total tackles last year as a junior. He's an all-state wrestler, so that always translates really well. Another kid. Here's my Ben Franklin plug here. Shouting out Coach Norris is Ammon Alexander. It's the whole tree of the Alexander brothers that have come through Ben Franklin. Same thing. Great grades, tremendous frame, powerful offensive lineman who's just a road grader and a mauler. And these are great kids and leaders for Ben Franklin. He's one of those kids leads by example in everything he does, and he's so exciting to watch in the fall.
I have one last question. I'm totally switching gears here. I didn't give you any warning on this, but right before filming earlier today, I saw your tweet about pushing the start date back for the season. I want your thoughts. So your thought was, hey, coaches, do we give it a couple more weeks for the heat to cool down? We all know how crazy it is. And I said, hey, I'm not a coach, but if I can vote, like let's push it back. What's your thought process with that? What do you want to see happen?
Well, it's so interesting because I posted that because I had heard all week, right? Like it's too hot. It's our days are 16, 17 hours long, which they are. I can't relate to that as I'm not a coach. That is just it's a brutal schedule, and 118 is I don't care who you are, right? It's 118 degrees is awful. And so when I posted that, I had so many side text messages and phone calls going from some coaches going, it doesn't matter. The heat is the heat. It's still going to be 105, 110 if we start the second week of September, right? And then you had those coaches like, yes, we have been begging for this because one, hey, we have that time frame. We have this, and really basketball gets going for the big schools. The basketball really gets going in kind of like those Christmas and New Year's tournaments. So even those football players coming in, even if you're making the state championship game, you could still go out there. Maybe you miss one or two preseason games in tournament play, but you're there for 80 to 90% of it. The small schools is where it does factor in because those teams are really relying up to 90% of the roster might be those football kids. So it's not a perfect thing. I guess selfishly, even though it has nothing to do with me, I'd love to see a mid-September start. It gets kids really acclimated to school, but at the same time, you look at Chandler Unified, they're in the classes, July 16th. Teachers are back July 7th, so that's a long time until your first game. But I don't like being out in 115-degree heat, guys. So that's it.
The answer is there's no perfect
There's
solution.
none.
Someone
No.
is not going to be happy and someone's going to be really happy. And that's unfortunately how a lot of these decisions go. But one
Yeah.
thing is for sure, we were very happy to have you on, Cody, as we always are. So, for more on Cody, definitely give him a follow on Twitter and we'll be back with more after the break.
I can bank when I want, where I want.
I can show my school spirit with every purchase.
I get rewarded for all I do with them, like a rate discount on my first auto loan.
And they partner with the school I always root for.
Hey, how's it going? Okay, all right, ready, let's go. I'm so excited.
There's going to be a lot more games that tickets get to that price. So if you want to be a part of them, you better buy season tickets. You better do it right now. You better sell it out because we're going to have a lot more games where this state wants to show up to. Buy your season tickets. Let's make that every single week of next year. Because why would you not want to be in that environment? That's one of the most fun places to be in college football. Why would you not want to do that every Saturday?
This is a Santan Ford announcement. Santan Ford is taking delivery of over 500 new cars and trucks. All models are priced for immediate sale to make room for more arrivals. Don't wait. Head to Tim Hogan's Santan Ford in Gilbert.
We are Santan Ford.
Nothing brings people and families together faster than sharing food. Great friends, memories, and good times. For over 2 generations, Valle Luna has served you the food that brought you together, and we've been proud to do so. We're fortunate to have been a part of so many stories, gatherings, and traditions that continue on today and will tomorrow. Start a tradition of your own. Come taste authentic Sonoran-style food with your family and friends here with us at Valle Luna.
Discover more Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino.
Hi, folks. Here are your drinks.
Where having fun means racking up reward credits with the Caesars Rewards loyalty program that can be redeemed for food, free play, hotel stays, and more. Not only here in the city of Maricopa, but also at more than 50 Caesars properties coast to coast. From Harrah's Las Vegas to Caesars Palace in Atlantic City. What are you waiting for? Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino, the official sponsor of Play.
To the top, till I get to the top. I keep on rocking till I get to the top. Yeah, I keep on rocking till I get to the top. Let's go. I keep on rocking till I get to the top. Can't stop, won't stop, and I never will. I keep on rocking till I get to the top. I keep on rocking till I get to the top. That's right. I keep on rocking till I get to the top. Can't stop, won't stop, and I never
Welcome back into Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins, and we just caught up with Cody Cameron to talk all things small school football. But we want to put another program on your radar. They're going to be small for now, but eventually, they will climb the ranks and end up in 3A and 4A. But that's the Goodyear Mavericks. It's their first year. They've got a freshman squad ready to go. So a couple weeks ago, we caught up with their head coach, Pat Parnell, to learn more about this upcoming program. Well, we're here now with Pat Parnell, the first head coach for Goodyear High School, opening up football season in just a little bit. We're inching closer and closer, but Pat, thanks for joining us. And what's it like gearing up for this first season here at a brand new high school?
Yeah, thanks, Jordan, Claudia. Thanks for having me on and caring about Goodyear High School and Goodyear football. It's exciting. Today's actually first day that staff gets a chance to come and move on campus. Some of the leadership team was on campus last week, getting things going, and tours every day, seeing all the progress, and so it's exciting, and there's a lot of really fun things happening here.
Coach, I actually want to step back a little bit and get to know your background a little bit and how you came into this position and why you felt like, hey, taking on a new program, that's the move for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I got two older brothers. We all played football. We've talked about for a long time. So yeah, how it happened. I was coaching college football. I was coaching high school football up in Washington, and then took two different jobs coaching college football, one in Florida, one in California. And I got three kids and a wife, and we're moving around the country and kind of doing that deal. And when we were done with Davis out in California, we just kind of said, hey, like, we could keep riding this college football train and going. And I love football, but I also love my kids and I love my family. And so what's a spot that values athletics, that has great weather and has a great opportunity for coaching and teaching and impacting kids? And so we landed on Arizona. Actually came here without a job. We moved, bought a house in the West Valley without a job, and said, you know what? It's going to work itself out. If we build the house and we find the spot to live that's good for our family, the rest will sort itself out. And that's kind of how, honestly, like most of the people that are at Goodyear, it just Goodyear kind of comes to them instead of them coming to Goodyear. And that's kind of how I feel this happened. And so the fact that this opportunity is in front of me, I'm really excited about it.
I think that's really cool as someone that's kind of just ended up all over the valley. I've been in the East Valley and Gilbert. I've lived in Goodyear, literally across the street as they were building your campus there, now in downtown and all over. And I will say Goodyear is a great place, and it's cool that you ended up there. Looking at the facilities that they've built, what's your favorite part so far? Seeing everything kind of get finalized. I've seen the field. It looks pretty. The weight room looks great. What are some of your favorite things?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, to point to the weight room, you go on most campuses at high school and it's like, man, how can we maximize the space that we have? Can we put a rack here? Can we maybe adjust this storage closet to another, and that's kind of the conversations at most high schools. And so to have 20 racks in a weight room, a turf, spot right outside a garage door that opens up, really just like that is a pretty sacred spot. I've always believed when you look at a football program, there's really kind of two spots. If you want to kind of figure out, hey, what's the culture? You look at how they are in the weight room and how they play special teams. Mm-hmm. And we got one of those facilities. Now it's kind of our job to make sure we build a culture that's the one we want in that weight room. So I love the weight room.
From what I've seen, the visuals are awesome. The facilities look fantastic, but all of that is nothing without a staff. So how did you build your staff, and how do you plan to kind of really bond this team that's going to be brand new?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's so much about the people. When it all said and done, you can have a cool locker room and you can have cool signage, we got cool cornhole boards behind me. Like, you got all these cool things, and but if the people aren't connected and aren't rowing the same direction, then you're really fighting a bunch of battles that make it difficult. So yeah, as far as the staff goes, it was a wide range. I mean, some people connected with me through social media, through internet, through phone, just like I'm interested. I live in the area. Some guys we've had prior connections with. Coach Chaco, our offensive coordinator, he's coming over from Millennium High School. He coach with Jason Lynn, our principal at Desert Edge. And so him, Colin Poe, they both were at Desert Edge. And so when I, met with Jason, we started talking about, hey, who are we going to get going? Those are guys. Dan Poffenbarger, he was over at Canyon View with me. And then, honestly, like there's a wide range of people that, and it's kind of been fun because some guys are like, hey, like our D-line coach, Lionel Wiggins, he's never coached before, but he's like kind of unsure, like, can I coach? I'm like, dude, yes, you can, man. Can you build relationships with kids? All right, let's go. The X's and O's. Can you build relationships? Do you know how to do that? And so we got a bunch of different guys like that just said, hey, I want to jump on, and I really am buying into the vision of where you're going. And so that's how we built it. We got a pretty awesome staff too.
Speaking on building, so it's about the staff, it's about getting the right kids to come out and play football. It's about, the facilities, all of that. It's what you're building towards. So we've been lucky, me and Claudia, the last few years to see the back end of the schools that were newer, get to state championship games. We saw Micah Mountain and Tucson against ACP last year, both newer programs that got there so quickly. What do you think the formula is for you to kind of get to that level quickly? Are you worried about that? Are you more focused on just building these freshmen right now? Like, what is the larger plan here?
Yeah, I think it's really easy. Doesn't matter whether you're talking sports or you're talking, hey, you just got your first job at a finance firm. Some people kind of look 10 years in advance, and you have to have some element of that. But I really think it comes down to the behaviors. If you look at anything, hey, what are the behaviors of a winner? And then you start to focus on those, and then those behaviors become habits. And then your habits are really well done. And then how do you take those habits and then continue to grow on those and refine those? And so, that's the focus. And so we're trying to teach these kids how to be good your guys and how to just do behaviors that are really good and that are going to set them up for success in the class, set them up for success in their jobs when they get them, set them up for success. And if you kind of take the behaviors and you take the teaching of that, the foundation of it is relationships. And so I really say, hey, if we can build firm relationships with our kids, then we can teach really well. And if we know what we're teaching really well, then I think the scoreboard will figure itself out.
Well, Coach, I'm going to close on this. As much as I would love to get to know you even more, which I know we'll get the chance to do all season long, what is the motto going into the season? What's the message you're telling these guys?
Yeah, no doubt. There's really two things. We have a star on our logo, and I told our guys, hey, we got to set the anchor. We got to put the star on the map, and that might be a small star, or that might be a big, huge star. But we get to decide what kind of star gets put on the map. So it's definitely a focus of, as a team, hey, let's put the star on the map. And then the second one is just be good your guys, and that's kind of represented with our mascot, the Maverick, of like, that's a good reminder when we see that mascot is just be a Goodyear guy. And again, that's us teaching all those behaviors, and hopefully that transcends the football field and it carries into their life of hey, let's just be a bunch of Goodyear guys that put the star on the map, and let's ride as one.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the time, and we're looking forward to getting out there and seeing your guys this year. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for having me on. Appreciate your interest in Goodyear football. Go Mavs.
As we get closer and closer to the high school football season, be sure to head on over to sports360az.com for full coverage from us at Bleacher Talk and the rest of the Sports 360 AZ crew.
I can bank when I want, where I want.
There are no hidden fees. I checked the fine print.
They give back to the community I'm working to conserve.
And they partner with the school I always root for.
Hey guys. Hey, how's it going? All right, ready, let's go. So excited.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Now bust a move, bust a move, bust a move.
What would you need to experience life in full motion? Expertise to provide the best care, unsurpassed training and technique. It requires the best orthopedic surgeons. Ortho Arizona.
Ortho Arizona and my journey. My knees were shot, so I had double knee replacement, and I wanted the best in rehab. Ortho Arizona encouraged and pushed me in the process. Go to orthoarizona.org. That's orthoarizona.org.
Buy your season tickets. Let's make that every single week of next year. Because why would you not want to be in that environment? That's one of the most fun places to be in college football. Why would you not want to do that every Saturday?
Welcome back into Bleacher Talk. You made it just in time for our social spotlight segment. I'm alongside Jordan Spurgeon, and of course, we have Eliav Gabai, who has scoured X for the best of the best. And what is the best this week, E?
Claudia, we have some fun ones. I mean, we always have fun ones, but I really love it when we get to see some Arizona high school products in the NFL, starting with Tyler Shuck. 54-yard TD. See you later. And Spurge, you're going to have a couple of Arizona products under center for the Saints. Of course, Tyler Shuck from Hamilton, and then Spencer Rattler of Pinnacle.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. Odds are week one, the Saints down there in New Orleans, they're going to have an Arizona quarterback at the helm. Spencer Rattler got to start the first preseason game. I think he's the favorite, but they did spend a high pick on Tyler Shuck this year. He had a really good year at Louisville last year, kind of showing people that, hey, when I'm healthy, because that's been the thing with him is his health, I can play and I can ball out. And I think the Saints are excited about it. I know some things happen in training camp and people like to overreact to different clips, but he's always been a guy that keeps his head down and continues to grind. You can see it there on that 54-yard touchdown pass. So I'm excited to see that quarterback battle. And, a team like the Saints, no knock on the Saints, but might see both quarterbacks at different times this year as well. So I think we're going to get a good taste of, who the future guy could be there in New Orleans. But it's going to be a guy from Arizona this year. So that's going to be exciting.
Yes, it is. And speaking of exciting, we're going to go up to NAU, where freshman linebacker, product of the Chandler Wolves, was out there putting reps in. Aiden Browder. Claudia, I know you love NAU. We all do too, but it's just good to see the Chandler Wolves product out there.
I was gonna say, yeah, being up at NAU sounds like a dream right now. I know we're all feeling that way, but honestly, this is what it's all about, and it's what we talked about on the recruiting roundup is these guys finding the right fit for them and having these opportunities. And it's just so cool because we wait for this time of year to see those guys that we covered as seniors go into their freshman year and just get right on after it. And honestly, I think it's about time I get up to NAU for a game. Maybe not this season since I'm having another baby, but I might try to make it work. If I want to go into labor early, I'll just go to higher elevation and we'll make it work. But honestly, it's just a round of applause moment because I love seeing these guys just do exactly what they were meant to do at the next level. And who knows later on, maybe it's us pulling up an NFL clip a few years from now too. And that's what we always hope for.
Yeah, folks, if you don't know Claudia, she's going to push the limits always. Okay, so just so you know, if you didn't know, now you know. All right, speaking of pushing some limits, honestly, these Dobson coaches getting down and dirty, the coaches getting involved in the drills, teaching players to fall and pop back up. All right, y'all, we can start with Claudia, then go to Spurge, but I would it would be hard for me not to laugh. I'm not gonna lie. Like as a player, like seeing these old guys getting down and rolling on the stuff. But on a real note, how about the dedication? Come on now.
That's what I was gonna say. Also, I don't know if I would have like the balls to laugh
That's
at
true.
the coach. So I guess maybe it depends on the coach if they kind of vibe with that or not. But honestly, I think it's a great way to set an example. So for me, I say go for it. I think it's awesome. I kind of just think this means, hey, coaches, get out there with your guys. We want to see you get down too.
Just make sure to stretch beforehand. We're all getting to that age where we got to start stretching. So I can only imagine where they're at. They got to be stretching before they get down there. I remember you guys threw me into a drill at a boot camp, one of these schools a few years ago, and I remember pulling up a hammy a little bit, and I was a little younger then. So definitely stretch and get after it. But it is fun to see, and what Coach Newcomb's doing there, embracing what they have at Dobson and just having fun this year. Definitely excited to see what that brings throughout the season. But between him and his coaching staff having fun and being the drill sergeants that they are, it's going to be a good time down there at Dobson always.
Yeah, Spurs, when you get healthy and get that shoulder health, we got another Spurs challenge coming your way soon enough. But that's all we have for Social Spotlight.
Elioff, thanks so much for joining us. It was great as always. Small school football opens up next week. The big schools the following week. It's here. Football action right around the corner. Tune in to all of our coverage right here at sports360az.com and right here on Bleacher Talk. We'll see you next week.
I can bank when I want, where I want.
I can show my school spirit with every purchase.
I get rewarded for all I do with them, like a rate discount on my first auto loan.
And they partner with the school I always root for.
Hey, how's it going? Okay, all right, ready, let's go. I'm so excited.
Grit is in you. It's in your passion, your perseverance. It's in every challenge you face and overcome. Grit is in you. It's never in rockin' protein. Never settle.
Visit us at Harrah's Auction Casino in the city of Maricopa, where you'll find play for all and friendly people ready to welcome you like family.
Welcome back, you two.
As the official sponsor of Play and the only casino in Arizona with Caesars Rewards, see what a difference it makes to play where your fun is our top priority. Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all.
Nothing brings people and families together faster than sharing food. Great friends, memories, and good times. For over 2 generations, Valle Luna has served you the food that brought you together, and we've been proud to do so. We're fortunate to have been a part of so many stories, gatherings, and traditions that continue on today and will tomorrow. Start a tradition of your own. Come taste authentic Sonoran-style food with your family and friends here with us at Valle Luna.
Grit is in you. It's in your passion, your perseverance. It's in every challenge you face and overcome. Grit is in you. It's never in rockin' protein. Never settle.